Tea Time True Crime with Katie, and tonight's case is gotta be the most disturbing, horrific case I have come across. I've actually heard about this case quite a few years ago, but I believe I wasn't strong enough to talk about it. Well, we're gonna talk about the Hello Kitty murder. This video will contain graphic language, trigger warning, and very upsetting. But I do believe that this woman needs to be remembered because what happened to her, I swear, it is like Phan Man Yi was born in 1975. When she was born, her parents didn't want her and she was in an orphanage. Sadly, when she was 15 years old, the orphanage kicked her out and thought, she was smart enough to earn life on her own, which is really sad. No education, no money. So eventually she went into becoming a sex worker, prostitution. With being a sex worker, addiction may come to actually numb the reality of how your life is. Now, when she turned, they say 21 years old, she met one of her clients and she fell in love with him and had a kid with him. And but soon after, she didn't realize that he was an addict as well. So she wanted to leave the marriage and save her child. After she had her son, she really wanted to get her life together and get clean and have a normal life. She actually found a job by being a hostess at a club. And there she met Chan Lok. Chan Lok was pretty much a mafia dude, like undercover boss. Forgive me, I believe the gang was called Triad. They're like horrible gang members. So she started working for him. He was promising her things and, having him, pretty much just making her believe that it's going to be all right. But of course, he ended up putting her into illegal sex work. There are two different stories about why this happened. One story was that Chan's wallet was stolen. Like she stole it right from him. Another story was after they were getting down to business and he was putting back on his pants, his wallet fell, and that's how she retrieved the wallet. But the matter of the fact is that she stole money from Chan. It was 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, which in America's money is $500. She was thinking maybe he dropped it on the way to where he was going. But of course, that did not happen. He went to go buy a soda after he left the apartment and he realized he didn't have his wallet. He went back looking for Phan. Phan, I don't know why you confessed, boo-boo. I do not know why. But she confessed and said that she stole the money and she gave the money back. He was absolutely furious and he wanted to teach her a lesson, and he did, because he wanted to let all the other illegal sex workers know to never cross him. So what he did, while she was trying to work off her debt, she was kidnapped by Man Lok and two of his stupid goons. I'm telling you, if you cannot take any graphic violence, any gruesome torture, please turn off this video now. Again, I couldn't handle hearing these details a few years ago. Turn it off. I did a lot of research on this case and I found out more disturbing evidence, and I hope I don't get canceled for doing this video, but I have to talk about it because Phan, she was tortured so horribly, it shocked the whole entire world. Her bones were broken. She was beaten every single day. She was force-fed urine and excrement. Her feet were burned, her hands and feet, so she wouldn't be able to walk. And get this, there was talk in the town where there was a sex worker that would never say no, and you could do whatever you wanted to her. So the most violent Johns came in and did whatever they wanted. They force-fed her drugs, they barely fed her, and they kept her chained up like an animal. She had bruises and lesions across her body and did not receive any medical attention, but the torture lasted for a month. Chan was so mad when they came back one day, and she was already deceased. We do not know if she succumbed to her injuries or if she found drugs and overdosed herself, but I really believe she succumbed to her injuries because that poor woman went through horrific torture. I mean, horrific. Poured boiling water all over her, just cut her, used kitchen utensils, put spices in her wounds, just awful, awful, disgusting stuff. With the two boys, there actually was a girl with them. Her name was Fong. And Fong was Chan's 14-year-old girlfriend. We need to know about Chan. He was 34 years old, grooming a 14-year-old. Yeah, she watched what they did to her, what they did to Fan. After her deceased body was in decomposition, in fact, when she passed away, her body was so decomposed, it was like her soul left her body way long before, which I really, really hope it did. There was Hello Kitty dolls all over the apartment, which makes it more disturbing because he probably had children there playing with the dolls. Yeah. So, to get rid of her body, they chopped Fan in little pieces, boiled in pots, got the head, and boiled the head until there was no more flesh. Then they put the skull with a little bit of brain in and sewed it onto the Hello Kitty mermaid doll. And you're probably wondering, oh my gosh, well, it was in a doll? How did they get caught? What happened? Let me tell you, this is out of nightmares. So get this 14-year-old girl went to the police and said, please help me. This lady will not leave me alone. She is crying, screaming at me, blood coming out of her eyes, and just angry. And she will not stop haunting me. I see her everywhere I go. And the police are like, okay, why are you telling me a ghost story? This is really, really dumb. And then she kept going to them and said, no, seriously, I cannot live my life. Like, I know why. I know who this person is, and I will show you. So the police listened, and the little 14-year-old girl confessed to the horrible, horrible crimes that was done to Fan Nami. Choked up. So the police were led to the Hello Kitty doll, and even the most seasoned detectives could not believe what they were seeing. And this crime shocked Hong Kong and the rest of the world. Get this though, in the building where the brothel or whatever have you was done, it actually was a commercial building, and there also was tenants where people lived in apartments. Well, there was so much signs of paranormal activity that the Hong Kong government demolished the building because people would talk about moving in and they didn't know the history, but they would hear a woman crying and they were screaming and they would see ghostly figures in the building. So Hong Kong didn't mess with it and just demolished the building. This was the most horrific case I've ever heard about a human being doing to another human being, especially to a woman. Absolutely horrendous. Fan Yan Yi, I hope you are resting in peace, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. If you guys got through this video, thank you very much for watching, and remember, you're doing better than you think, and let me know in the comments below what you think about the case. Bye guys.